Hello everyone, and welcome to my UK Royal Family News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. If Harry and Meghan came back to the UK, King Charles said he would welcome them back. According to a recent YouGov poll, Meghan's popularity has reached an all-time low at the time of Mr. Palmer's remarks. According to a royal authority, King Charles would welcome Prince Harry and Meghan Markle back. Richard Palmer talked about whether or not the couple would be accepted back into the royal fold if they were to move back to the UK on the Daily Express Royal Roundup. He said to Pandora Forsyth, the host of the program, "I'm sure the monarch would welcome them back. He's eager to mend that family divide, but it's evident that it's still extremely raw. He hasn't seen his son the previous 2 times he has traveled to the UK, despite his desire to mend the divide." If Harry and Meghan were to attend Royal Ascot, Mr. Palmer continued, it would be an intriguing topic, an interesting what-if question. If he and Meghan were around, would they be invited to Royal Ascot? He continued. According to a recent poll, Meghan's popularity has reached an all-time low around the time of Mr. Palmer's remarks. The results of a YouGov poll of 2,014 people show that 68% of respondents had negative opinions about Meghan, while only 21% did so. According to the most recent statistics, Meghan's popularity has decreased by 3 points since April and has increased the total negative view. In addition, only 28% of British citizens have a favorable opinion of Prince Harry, with 63% holding a totally negative opinion of him. King Charles, on the other hand, is more well-liked than his youngest son. According to poll results, around 6 out of 10 people have a favorable opinion of the king. His net favorability is at 32, an increase from April when it was only 26. The outcomes come just days after Spotify announced it will not be extending its 3-year contract with their production firm, Archewell Audio, and dropped Harry and Meghan. Mutually agreed to part ways and are proud of the series we made together, the two companies stated in their joint statement. According to reports, the transaction with Spotify cost $20 million, $15.6 million. Harry and Meghan were required to develop and host programming that uplifts and entertains audiences around the world under the terms of the agreement, which was signed in 2020. The first of these initiatives was a 12-part audio series called Archetypes, which Meghan hosted. Star-studded interviewees for the program included Serena Williams, Mariah Carey, Constance Wu, Paris Hilton, and Mindy Kaling. Although King has the power to expel Andrew from the Order of the Garter, experts predict he won't. For the second time this week, Prince Andrew was prohibited from joining the royal family and participating in the Order of the Garter procession. According to a royal analyst, King Charles has the authority to exclude Prince Andrew from the Order of the Garter. Despite being a Knight of the Garter, the younger brother of the king skipped this year's procession at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle earlier this week. Taking Andrew out of the order is within the king's gift, according to Daily Mirror royal editor Russell Myers, but he doesn't think he would do it. Speaking to the Royal Beat, Mr. Myers asserted that the honor is probably the only thing still available for the disgraced prince, who was forced to resign as a senior royal because of his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted child molester. "It's a unique circumstance for the king," he remarked. "How much does he desire that others see Andrew in public? I think all he wants is for him to attempt to stop bothering him and retire. He can only hope that Andrew gradually disappears from view. Andrew still harbors the hope of returning to the life of a king, but I doubt that will happen." Regarding the prospect of having the garter taken away from him, Mr. Myers continued, "There have been removals from the garter. It's actually fully within the gift of the king. Charles won't harm his brother in that way, I assure you." Following his disastrous interview with BBC Newsnight, in which he discussed his acquaintance with Epstein, the prince was removed of his military titles, royal patronages, and the right to dress in the manner of His Royal Highness in official capacities. A few years had passed since Virginia Giuffre, then 17 years old, accused him of sexually abusing her 3 times in 2001. Before reaching an out-of-court settlement with Ms. Giuffre in February of last year, Andrew adamantly and repeatedly disputed the accusations and made no acknowledgement of guilt. But ever subsequently, Andrew's popularity has dropped. Due to his dismal popularity and public standing, he was prohibited from attending the Order of the Garter ceremony for the 2nd consecutive year. King Charles and the royal family participate in the parade and service honoring the Knights of the Garter on the grounds of Windsor Castle as part of the annual celebration. The awardees are personally chosen by the sovereign to honor persons who have held public office, made a particular contribution to national life, or have rendered personal service to the sovereign. In the 670 years since the Order of the Garter's founding, 40 persons have been expelled in total in disgrace. Duke wants to come back, but King wants Andrew to retire and not cause him any grief. King Charles II is now in an interesting situation, as concerns about what his younger brother Prince Andrew will do next grow. According to a royal analyst, the king just wants Prince Andrew to retire and not cause him any grief. Russell Myers, royal correspondent for the Daily Mirror and a contributor to the Royal Beat, came to that conclusion after analyzing what would come next for the disgraced Andrew. King Charles, who is still determining how the future of the most famous family in the world might appear, is still evaluating the Duke of York's position within the royal family's upper echelons. The 63-year-old was prohibited from participating in this year's Order of Garter ceremony, one of Buckingham Palace's most illustrious occasions where the king and the knights parade in regal velvet robes and sparkling insignia. After a slew of scandals, including his relationship with child molester Jeffrey Epstein, Andrew's popularity with the general public has fallen to historically low levels. And Mr. Myers discussed the challenges Charles is having as he chooses how to go with his brother in the decentralized monarchy he wants to enact while serving as king. Speaking on the Royal Beat, Mr. Myers claimed that Andrew's exclusion from the historic occasion this week showed how the Duke of York had been stripped of everything. The Queen sort of prohibited him, so he wasn't included in the Order of the Garter parade last year, he continued. It was decided that having him in the parade would be offensive. He was permitted to wear the robes during the coronation, and he did attend the luncheon that followed at Windsor Castle. But this time, he wasn't visible. The king is in an intriguing situation. How much does he desire that others see Andrew in public? And Mr. Myers knew the answer to that query, adding, I think he just wants him to try and retire and not cause him any trouble. He'll just cross his fingers that Andrew disappears into the background. According to royal chronicler Andrew Lowney, Andrew's status as an embarrassment led to the Order of Garter's rejection of him. In an interview with the Daily Express earlier this month, he claimed that it would also result in the exclusion of his 2 daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, from important positions. The daughters are young mothers with careers. But the firm needs more working royals, he observed. It's not ideal that Eugenie spends so much time in Portugal. The family views him as an embarrassment, but he has never been one to be pushed around, Mr. Lowney continued. His lack of self-awareness is one of his flaws. A more focused monarchy on people in the straight line of succession has long been advocated, and the idea has even received the royal seal of approval. Princess Anne, Charles' younger sister, who is regarded as the hardest-working employee of the firm because to her track record of attending the most royal events, was one of those inside Buckingham Palace to enter the dispute. She told CNN that reducing the number of frontline royals was not always a good idea. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.